Hi, it's James the Forager here, and we're out today just on the North Norfolk coast on the marshlands, which is notorious in North Norfolk. Absolutely covers the entire coast, the marshlands. So these are the mud flats, the muddy areas between the sea and the inland. You don't always get them, often you get beaches, but quite often you get a beach, sand dune and then some mud flats. Most likely found where estuaries come in. So if you head to an estuary, you're most likely going to find marshlands, and around the marshlands there's some unbelievable wild ingredients. Salty things like marsh samphire, which we're quite regular and used to. Things that taste like coriander, like sea arrowgrass or sea coriander. There's also this plant down here, a little less exciting those two, but still an edible. It's called Sea Plantain. It's related to the other plantains, ribwort plantain, lesser broadleaf plantain, but this is the coastal sea version of it. And as you can imagine, it has a slightly saltier flavour and is slightly more succulent. So the leaves, similar to the longleaf plantain in look, apart from being slightly more succulent. One of the classic features you get in all of the plantains, which you also get in this one, is that you can see 3 to 5 veins running up the stem, and if we snap it really delicately, those veins can be seen left over running through it, which some people call it guitar weed because you can snap them, keep them together, and they look like guitar strings. It'll then produce these shoots, little tiny bullet-like yellow flowers, and it'll fall into these seeds. The flowers, the seeds can be eaten, but the best parts for me are the leaves. They have a very, very mild mushroomy flavour. Some of the plantains have more of the mushroom flavour than others, but this one's quite nice. It's got a succulent crunch, slightly less fibrous than some of the other plantain. It's got a mild saltiness that comes through, and then you have that slight lingering mushroom flavour, which makes it really good, for me anyway. If I'm doing any sort of mushroom dish, I'll dash this up and shove it on top. It gives a slight different texture, something more crunchy, but also gives that like saltiness and mild mushroominess that comes through from the plantains. Only things we could potentially confuse this with when we're out on the marshlands, and we'd be lucky to confuse it with, is something called sea arrowgrass or sea coriander. It looks almost identical, grows from a rosette. Sea arrowgrass or sea coriander, the leaves are much thinner, much more grass-like than this one, which is flat. You can feel the thick groove in this. The seed pods are slightly taller and slightly more robust. Really, the key thing is to smell it. So if you smell this one, it doesn't really smell like too much. If you give it a little munch, it tastes slightly salty. And if this was sea coriander or sea arrowgrass, it would smell and taste like coriander. And the same with the seed pods, they smell and taste like coriander. But you often find them growing together. So we've got sea plantain just here, and just there we've got sea arrowgrass, slightly darker in colour as well.